Hey, welcome to our next fourth episode of Facebook Live this year here at Casper College at what department are we in? The Department of Theater and Dance.
You can tell we're all sleeping.
Oh my gosh, yes, it has been long nights because next week, Thursday, we have the opening of Mary Poppins, and it is selling like hotcakes.
It is.
And we are not exaggerating. We already have our matinee sold out. So please, if you're wanting to get tickets, you better order them quickly. I don't want you to be disappointed. We don't want you to be disappointed. So anyway, yeah, so we're working late at night these days, and today I have with me Ms. Chantel Gray, who is our scenic and lighting designer here at Casper College, and is the person who has designed the sets that you are going to be seeing for Mary Poppins. And so I thought I'd start off by asking the question, what are we sitting on?
We're sitting on some rooftops that still need to be painted so they'll look more like rooftops. But this is for the number Step in Time, and these are the roofs for London where the chimney sweeps.
So what do you take into consideration if you're talking a rooftop? And let's take a scan around here. Let's stand up and walk through this. So we have this one here, which is kind of a smaller incline one. Obviously can handle jumping.
Lots of dancing.
Likewise, this one here. Very sturdy, you can stand on it. And then we have these over here, which
will be chimneys
you don't want to lean on.
Right.
And then you have this one here, which you can even slide on. Now,
right.
What's going on? Why do you have these different kinds of things for a rooftop?
Well,
what was going through your mind here?
So the scenery throughout the play is suggested pieces, because there's so many different locations in the play. We can't do a full rooftop of London.
You mean there's so many different locations in the play?
In the play.
In the play, we go from a dining room to
rooftops, to
nursery, to a rooftop, to outside. So we have
Right.
all of these different things, and so you needed number one to take into consideration how you're going to suggestively
Right.
transform the stage into a rooftop.
Right, and to
Okay.
capture these different locations. And throughout the play, we've decided to go with just suggested pieces. So the living room doesn't have walls. It's just the important pieces, the fireplace and the window and the staircase. And so we can just capture those essential pieces.
And so you were thinking then, as you were looking at rooftops, you were thinking, number one, something that you might run into that
On a
would
rooftop.
suggest a rooftop.
So,
Okay.
and as I looked at images of the rooftops of London, most of them are angles. But we have some flat pieces as well that the chimney sweeps can dance on. The rooftop scene is almost all song and dance.
Okay, so this is then the next step.
Right.
You know that you have to have some type of suggestive objects on a rooftop,
Correct.
but then you're dealing with song and dance.
Song and
And
dance.
so what's going through your mind there? I mean, that you have a variety of different kinds of shapes. What do you take into consideration then in regard to the song and dance part of it?
Well, I want to create a space that the actors can move in, that we can create some interesting images as we go through. So, I wanted to give some different heights for the dancers to dance on. And
Okay.
so that we see some interesting pictures of some people that are up high, some people that are low, some people, that
Okay,
are moving.
so if you would stand there on that one, and then I'm here, and then suddenly I run over to this one here.
Right, it gives some movement
Then
that's
you
more
get
than
this-
just flat.
Yeah, so you kind of get this variety here.
And then that one is a slide, so the dancers can slide down it.
And kill themselves, great.
Well, no, only
No,
huge.
controlled. Yeah, that's really
Dancers are
something.
skilled at movement.
Yeah, yeah. And so that actually helps then with the, it allows for different kinds of variety of choreography then also. Very cool.
And so we have different places they can go, things they can hide behind, jump over, jump on, etc. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So why don't we go backstage and we'll also show you some of the other stuff that
Okay.
you've kind of developed. Let's
Right,
go over
we
on
still
this
have
end
a lot
here.
of painting left to go, so a lot of these things don't look like they will next week.
Yeah, so how about this one here?
What do we have back here? This is the window inside of the nursery, inside of the children's room. It's used both
This is
the
really
interior
cool, by the way.
and the exterior. And so
And it's got windows that open.
windows that open,
Cool.
because we have, we have that inside the nursery, so we can see that that's part of their room. And then
Nice.
there's a later scene where we're outside and the children are seeing Mary.
Oh, so then you, so some of these scenes then actually can rotate
Correct.
and go around.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let's go through here.
All right.
Do we have, well, I think we've already seen these, but we can show this one here.
some fence pieces that help us with the park.
This feels much too natural for some reason. It looks familiar. Yeah, so a fence that, piece of a park that we can just kind of bring on.
Yeah.
And it will suggest that kind of a park.
Correct.
In, of course, in London. And so you're dealing with a whole different kind of architecture, I'm assuming.
Right.
Than with all of this too. Interesting. Well, how about if we go through here?
All right. So this is our shop where we're making the magic.
So in this space here, we've got this massive structure here,
Is a fireplace.
be a fireplace. Whoa. There's something, I need more sleep.
December, right?
I need more sleep. And then we have these other rolling pieces here. Notice everything is on casters,
It
basically,
is,
that you're dealing
because
with.
we want our scenery to go from here out on stage quickly and easily.
Okay. And then here we even have,
A
now,
little window,
window, and these actually open.
open, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Window with the window seat.
And then this is a big one here. Holy smokes! Look at this. Yeah, how do you keep these things from moving
We've
around?
got brakes over here that lock down onto the stage, lifts the platform up a little bit.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And so somebody can actually come up here and come through the doorway, huh?
Correct. Yep, so this is in the parlor. This is in Banks's house. It takes us from upstairs to downstairs.
So what decides what parts you come up with, that you invent? I mean, why specifically would you invent, for lack of a better term, design a piece like this? I mean, what comes into your mind when you do
Well,
a piece like this?
I guess the first thing is it comes from the script and from the play and the needs of the play. So if, there's lines that say you go upstairs, we kind of need some way to go upstairs. And so, it was like, okay, we need stairs. Do we really need much else for this scene? We don't. So we could just have the first run of stairs with the idea that it continues going up to a second level.
And once you've built something like this, which is really wonderful, I mean, even railing and everything, then how do you choose colors? Oh my gosh, it's got to be endless in its possibilities.
It is, and I worked through that from the beginning design process. I also base a lot of it on research. So, what would the stairs be like in a house in London? So we're gonna go with a wood grain here, and the walls are gonna be wallpaper. And
Very cool, very cool. So what has probably been your biggest challenge in this show? You know, once we found out that we were going to be doing
right.
Mary Poppins, what would you say is your biggest challenge here?
I think probably the biggest challenge is just the scale. You know, that there are so many different locations, and there's magic that happens, and so there's kind of a combination of the two that we need to have magical moments and thinking through how that's going to happen. So there's some props that have been a little tricky, you know, figuring out how to make those things happen. But I think it's mostly just that there's so much. Yeah, and we have most of our workforce is students who are learning this, so it wouldn't be too much if you had people who had been working in a scene shop in the industry for 20 years, but we're teaching our students as we go.
Yeah.
And so that's been a challenge, but it's also been really good because it's a great learning opportunity for our students.
And that's one of the keys, actually, of this show. And for you folks who are watching, something just to take into consideration. If you ever see under the credits of a show produced by Cameron McIntosh, you know that you're going to be dealing with a lot of set, a lot of design, a lot of just massiveness, because that's what he specializes in. Cameron McIntosh has been involved in so many of these big musicals, from Phantom of the Opera to Miss Saigon with the helicopter coming down from the fly. He's a very, very big realism guy in making magic on stage, which makes it very challenging for an amateur production company like Casper College to be able to give that kind of an impact with very little budget and resources and labor, that type of thing. It makes it very, very challenging.
It does. But it's also pretty fulfilling. I mean, you know, to work with students who, some of them haven't built anything before, and they're building this.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
And it is kind of a challenging thing for us as artistic staff to be able to say, okay, how can we really do this knowing that we can't do what Broadway did?
Right.
And that makes it actually kind of fun in some ways.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because every space has its perks and things that you need to figure out how to work with the environment.
Right.
You know, we don't have the ability to fly scenery in and out, which a lot of Broadway theaters do. And so a lot of musicals like this are written to fly in a piece of scenery while another scene shift happens. And we don't do that here.
Yeah, and I mean, we've even found that out, especially in this show. With me being music director of this show, they have scenes that literally go from here to here, and there's only 4 measures of music in between, and then it goes into the next scene. We're going, wait, how do you have this scene change? We don't have a fly system, so we have to devise ways to get the scenery on and off fast, or we have to play some music again.
Right.
You know, repeat some music just so that we have that underscoring going on while we have the scene changes.
Yeah, and sometimes we have scenery that's moving during a scene, and it's part of the magic that's happening in their environment. It's kind of fun, you know. The scenery gets choreography too. It's not just the dancers that are dancing. There are moments where the fireplace has its own pirouette.
Pirouette is a good way of putting it. And to see all of this, just to see how this works, you've got to come to the show. The show starts next week. Thursday, October 19th. Is that correct? October 19th. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday we have a performance, but that's already sold out. Then we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the week after that. So order tickets at the box office or online and order fast.
It's going to be a fun show.
It's going to be great.
These students are doing a fabulous job.
Yep.
with it.
Yep.
The acting, the tech crew, it's all coming together quite nicely.
And I tell you, we have a Mary Poppins who, I swear, and I've told her this off stage, I've said, Ashton, you really are Mary Poppins. I mean,
Yeah.
we happen to just hit it perfectly with, with the all-important role of Mary Poppins. So it will not be a disappointment.
No, it's great.
You will enjoy the show immensely.
Very much.
So, one final question, then we're going to sign off.
Okay.
It's a very short
I'll
one.
Go back to painting.
Why are you Patrick?
It's just the paint smock that I had.
Oh,
It's,
you stole it, didn't you?
No. I think I bought it at a secondhand store in LA.
Oh, there we go.
And it's a great paint smock.
Yeah.
And I probably need to get another one soon because this is about ready to start being able to walk on it. So.
No, after you're done with it, then we'll put a frame around it and hang it up in the art gallery.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost more paint
Yeah.
than fabric. Yeah, so.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us for another Facebook Live for the Department of Theater and Dance. Jim Ohm, Chantel Gray, we say adios and hope to see you at the show this next week. Bye-bye.